Hey everybody, George here from Wadboard. This is a quick 10-minute presentation on whether your gym needs a CRM or marketing automation system. Lots of people I talk to feel they might need one of these, but they're not really sure what it is or how it works. So this presentation aims to solve that. CRM systems can work either independently from your gym management software, or they can be integrated right in. So that's what we do at Wadboard. We think that's slightly better because there's more automations that you can kick off, as you'll see, but you can of course run it independently if you prefer. So let's dive straight in. There are three things that we talk a lot here about that you need to do in order to grow your business. First is to bring in new customers. The second is to retain existing customers. And the third is to simplify the day-to-day admin burden that you have with a growing business. Now, the third of these points is really to do with gym management software, so we'll skip that for this presentation, and we'll focus on just the first two. This is the journey that a new customer typically takes. They might be sat at home searching on the internet, they might talk to friends, they might be out and about and see your brand as they walk past. There are lots of ways that people might discover your business, and when they do, they typically end up at your website. Now from here, it really depends what kind of action you push them to. So it could be to fill out a form, give you a call, drop an email, etc., etc. But what happens then is typically you meet the person. So this could be over the phone, it could be a Zoom consult nowadays. Of course, it could be like a trial class or a one-to-one in the actual gym. And the aim of this is ultimately to get somebody to sign up for a membership. The exact details of this process obviously vary from gym to gym, but ultimately there is this journey that a customer takes, and it's fairly similar across the board. So this is one way of looking at it, but there's another way of looking at this journey, which is via a funnel. So this is exactly the same process. It has each of the stages: discovery, inquiry, trial or appointment, and sign up, and ultimately leads to someone becoming a member. But it's just a slightly more visual, easy way to view it. And what a CRM does is it aims to make this process as efficient as possible, so as few people fall out as possible, and it aims to automate as much of it as possible. So let's look at efficiency first. If you imagine 10 people start in your funnel, you will naturally lose some at each stage as people decide the product's not for them, they don't have the money, they don't have the time, etc. What the CRM aims to do is, rather than the fall off go from say 10 to 3, it tries to optimize each stage and really help you improve the efficiency of it. So it might go, for example, from 10 to 5 instead. So for the same amount of work, you're getting greater results. How does that work? Well, you need to optimize each stage. Now, the first stage, discovery, is not something the CRM can help with. That's because this typically involves online adverts, social media, Google Maps, etc. This is typically something that gyms will handle themselves or maybe outsource to an agency, but it's not something that the CRM can be involved in. So moving on, the second stage is inquiry. Now, when somebody visits your website, you really want to grab as many of their details as possible. And you can do this in a few ways. You can either make it extremely easy for them to take a next action. So for example, here we've got booking a trial class. They just hit book and put in a few details. You can hide some information that they might want at this stage. So for example, hiding your pricing and asking for a name and phone number in exchange for that pricing. And when they leave those details, you automatically send back the pricing. Or you can do something with Facebook adverts called lead ads, where they don't actually even have to go to your website. They just press a button that says they're interested and their Facebook name and phone number are pre-filled, and they press send, and those details go to your CRM system. Either way, whichever approach you would take, the aim here is to make it so that as few of them fall out of the funnel as possible at this stage. So you do that by making it super easy, hide something they want, and make it incredibly easy for them to take action. I've also put a little tip at the bottom here, which is to ask for as little information as possible. So this is not really the point to start asking for people's address and date of birth, for example. Once you've got somebody in for a trial appointment, in many ways you've done one of the hardest stages, So where the CRM helps here is it helps them make sure they turn up. So automatic messages for bookings, reminders before their booking comes, and then critically, as I'm sure you all have seen, you'll get a load of people that will fall out. So they'll either cancel or they'll miss their appointment. And really they're the people you want to follow up and try and get them to book again, because obviously they're people that you'll be losing at this stage. We think SMS is the best way here. Very few people get SMSs these days, so you always notice when you get one, and it doesn't really get lost. People just tend to scan through their inbox and ignore a lot of the messages, where an SMS is quite noticeable. And then the final stage is when somebody wants to sign up. So you may actually try and get them to sign up on the spot after you've spoken to them or they've come into your gym. But of course, if it's like a trial class, that might not be practical because the coach might be starting the next class. So send out information automatically as soon as that class is finished, and help track who of those convert. For those that don't, follow up with them and until you get really, yes, I'd like to sign up, or no, I'm not interested. We always talk about how you really want to create this tension and push people to a yes or a no, rather than not hear from them again, which is quite a frustrating experience. A lot of this involves automated messages, so you'll typically get some kind of inbox or message center in a CRM system. So this is the one at Wadboard. It lets you track here how many people you've got to reply to. You can switch between emails and SMS, and of course you can see everybody's details there. So this really gives you like a unified single point where people are coming in, so you can't lose track. And then we mentioned a little earlier automation. So looking at each of those stages, as I mentioned, the first stage is not something a CRM system can become involved in, but the inquiry stage, that's the intro booking or inquiry details or the pricing page on your website, that can be fully automated by the CRM. CRM obviously cannot take a trial class for you or have an appointment with an interested party, but it can handle all the booking emails and confirmations and cancels and no-shows, etc. And depending on how you want to do things, you can have the CRM automatically handle the sign-up stage, or you can take that on personally. So as you can see, quite a lot of this process can be automated. Some of those steps you're probably not doing right now, but that, as mentioned, leads to a funnel where more people fill out at each stage. So the CRM system really helps you sort of set up these processes, leave them, forget them, and they run automatically, which of course gives you more time to do stuff that you want, whether that be hang out with your dog or really focus on growing your business. So that's the lead section. Of course, you do have another set of people that you're very interested in, which is your existing customers. So typically the life cycle works something like this. Somebody becomes a new sign up. They become an ongoing customer, and then ultimately they leave, whether that's 1 month or 10 years later. And a CRM system helps you automate the processes of keeping people, keeping them interested, and it also helps you grow your business as well. So when somebody first joins, there's often a lot of information that you want to send them, so that can be all automated. And what a few gyms are doing recently, which I think is a great idea, is actually sending more general stuff out, so like information on recovery and nutrition, and really helping your customers to succeed as fast as possible. So get them in, get them loving their workouts and their classes, and they'll become more involved in your community and stick around longer. Tied to that, of course, you can do stuff, for example, on number of attendances, length of time at gym. These are all the kind of things that you can't do if you run a separate system. So that's one of the reasons we like to have it integrated. And also, perhaps more importantly, when things go wrong. So when people stop attending for a period of time, when they pause a membership, of course, if your CRM system's integrated with your gym management software, then all of this just works out of the hat. So again, a whole another section of stuff that can be automated with a CRM system. And then of course, if somebody leaves, you can ask for feedback, you can put them in a long-term nurture plan. There's a few other things you have to do there, although it does really depend where you live in the world. And then finally, you can use it to help you grow your business, because you've got this bunch of people who are customers and they can really be leveraged in a few ways. So you can ask them for feedback. You can ask them to recommend friends. Often gyms will incentivize this. or something that we're just about to launch. What actually is Google reviews, so the system knows how long someone's been a customer and if they've still got a membership, so you can wait a couple of months or whatever point it is, a certain number of classes, the point at which you think people will actually be very likely to leave you a good review, and you can set it up to automatically ask them, and then if they don't leave a review, you can get it to ask them again for how many times you want. So it's a really good way that you can just set up once. It just runs in the background. You don't need to think about it, and you're slowly over the months and years accumulating lots of good Google reviews. So that's pretty much it. CRM system helps you automate leads. It makes the whole process more efficient, and for customers, it helps you automate the process of retaining them and using them to help grow your business. And then I put on the right-hand side a list of all the things that we mentioned, just because you don't really realise as you're going through just how much these systems can do. So there is, of course, much more that we've not covered there, but that's just a small selection to give you an idea.